I'm just looking at it. Gene, did you get? I'm sure you did, but the shot from the back, looking both hoods up. I mean, this is pretty cool right here. That is a cool thing. Welcome to Cars, Shops, and Collections, and today I'm excited. I'm always excited for every episode, but we've got around the corner what some people are calling the last real muscle car. Talking about a 1974 Pontiac Trans Am Super Duty. Ron is the one that has it. He knows so much about Trans Ams. He's gonna drop a lot of knowledge on us today. So let's go see Ron in the last real muscle car, the 1974 Pontiac Trans Am Super Duty. How cool is that driveway? What's up, man? Dude. This has got to be the coolest driveway in Las Vegas. How are you, man? Good to see you, buddy. How's it going? Good to see you. How's it going, man? It's Jeff, right? Yeah, good to see you again, buddy. How's it going? This is Gene, photographer.
How are you?
Oh my gosh.
There's the Admiralty blue.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. I love your driveway, man. It's good to see you, buddy.
It was better last time, but...
You kidding me? This is fantastic.
Yeah. There were a few more Trans Ams here. Yeah.
There were. Episode number 1, the very first episode of Cars, Shops, and Collections was shot right here. Yep. And here we are, episode 87?
Yes. So it is 87.
87 episodes later, so.
Hi, my name is Ron Brown. I'm going to show you a couple of really cool and rare Trans Ams today.
Ron, thanks again for doing this today, man. And thanks again for doing episode number 1, man. That means the world to me.
Me too. It was awesome. I loved it.
Well, let's break this down. We'll get to the Super Duty behind you, the 1974. Let's start with your 1973 Trans Am, and there's some changes that you pointed out that you have done to it, because last time we didn't have the screaming chicken on the hood, did we?
Right. Okay, so in episode 1, we talked about the fact that this was the first year you could get this decal on the hood.
Okay.
But it was an option. Not every car came with it. This one originally did not. So if you didn't get that, they put the little one right here, and we talked about that for a minute. And since episode 1, it's grown up.
It's gotten bigger, it's matured over the past year.
I tell people, they all have to grow up sooner or later. So I bought that and put it on.
You put it on yourself?
Jeff and I put it on, yeah.
Now, Jeff, when you guys are putting this on, how hard is it to put the decal on?
It's a little bit of work.
Yeah, I mean, 2 people, 3 would be ideal probably, but
Yeah.
2 people, Ron and I did it to keep that lubricated properly. So you minimize the amount of bubbles in there and then make sure, and Ron did a really good job of, before, he kind of did a template, lined everything up properly, he had some tape around the edges and so on. So
put some blue painter's tape, like there, so you knew where everything would be positioned. So when you get it on there, it kind of floats.
Okay.
And once you get it in position, then you can just squeegee the water and the soap out of it and then just let it dry, and turned out pretty good.
It looks great. Oh, so when you put it on, you do have a second to kind of adjust it before things settle?
Yeah, not very long, but so I just use a soapy water solution.
It looks great, man.
Yeah. Turned out pretty nice. Buccaneer
red, correct?
Right, absolutely, yep.
And the first year, you can get
First
it in
year
red
you
as
can
well.
get it in red as well, yes.
So this is the 455.
Yeah.
And we have the Super Duty 455 behind us.
The only 2 engines that were offered in these 2 cars.
What's the difference between a Super Duty 455 and non-Super Duty 455?
A lot.
Okay, why don't you break that down for us?
So the standard 455 was basically the same engine that Pontiac offered in their other cars. Okay. The Super Duty had a completely different engine block as far as being stronger, more webbing in the lifter valley area, because sometimes the lifter area would crack on them. 4-bolt main caps, had provisions for dry sump oiling. It had a completely different round port cylinder head and free-flowing exhaust manifolds, different cam, born from Pontiac's racing days, and just a fabulous engine. This car was offered with it as well, but it doesn't have it. If it did, this would be one of 180.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I've seen you out at the tracks. Your Trans Am, this car is race ready. I've seen you out there at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway doing your thing.
Right.
Come, let's look at the interior of the car too, because this sat Was this a barn find almost? Sat in a barn for 40 years?
Pretty much. It was in a garage in California for 40 years.
The interior of your car is, I mean, it's spectacular condition. And how much of this?
With the exception of the carpet, the headliner, and the cushion on the driver's seat, it's all original.
It's all original. And you do all this work here yourself. I jokingly call you Mr. Trans Am, but you know everything about the Pontiac
I do it all
Trans Am.
myself, yeah.
Where did you pick up all the knowledge and skills to work on these cars?
My first car was a 72 Firebird. I fell in love with them. I actually transformed it into a kind of a Trans Am clone. It was in CarCraft magazine, and I just fell in love with the cars, and I've been playing with them ever since.
No kidding.
40 plus years. Yeah.
Do you still have that magazine?
I do.
Oh, we have to get pictures of that.
Yeah.
Automatic?
Yep.
And it is available in a 4-speed, correct?
It was, yes.
But if you had the 4-speed, you couldn't get AC, correct?
That is correct. They also changed the gear ratio. If you got a 4-speed, you got a 342 rear gear. This has a 308 rear gear. Even with the 308 rear gear, this car ran a 12.8 at the Speedway.
Did it really?
Yeah.
So last time we were here, I think you had just hit 80,000 miles, or now we're 86,000 miles.
You remember that?
I do remember it, man.
I drive it.
Yeah, you do. That's what I love about it. You see Facebook pictures, Ron's all over Las Vegas. He's in car clubs and everything, and he's out there on the track racing this thing.
Yep.
Beautiful condition. I love the dash, man. It's so clean.
Very nice.
Yeah, it really is. All right. So let's go see the Super Duty. Jeff's Super Duty. So in 1974, that's the first year you can get the blue, correct?
That's the first year you could get that color. In fact, the only year you could get that color, I believe. They didn't make that in 75 either, did they?
No, they call it Stellar Blue in 75.
Okay, and what's this blue called?
Admiralty Blue.
All right. Mm-hmm. So 1973, they had green. They got rid of the green and went with the blue.
Correct.
Red, white, and green is what you could get in 73. Red, white, and blue, 74.
Which is kind of interesting, too. We're getting ready for the bicentennial, and now we get the car in red, white, and blue. Is that why we did that, do you think?
Really interesting. One other thing, too, about these cars, and I saw a 73 Super Duty that did not have a paint code. So you could do that, too, where the car would come from the factory just in primer. Very rare.
And you would just, whatever paint you put on it?
Whatever you wanted.
No kidding.
Yep.
The guy that did that wanted the car black, and they said, no, we will not paint it black. And he said, okay, I don't want any paint on it.
And so they send it from the factory with no paint on it.
Right.
Wow.
And no code on that trim tag.
No kidding.
Right.
Well, let's look at the front of it, because we see some differences. We go from 73 to 74. You're watching the video right now. We see the difference right here. Bumper.
Bumper standards change in 74.
Okay.
So that is a little higher impact bumper. Obviously, they laid the front end down, laid it a little more aerodynamic. They also changed the tail lights. Other than that, the cars are pretty identical.
The story behind the Super Duty. How did they pull this thing off? Because we're now in 73, 74, emissions. We're seeing cars lose horsepower. We're seeing a whole change in the automotive industry. How does Pontiac pull this thing off?
They pulled some rabbits out of their hat, let's say.
Because, management wanted to pull the plug on it. They said, no, we already have 600 pre-orders for the Super Duty. So it's like, we do? Oh yeah, so they didn't pull the plug on it, but they were going to pull the plug on the program. But it's based on the racing program. It's based on the race engine. In 1970, they already started on the Super Duty program, and they had much higher compression with that engine back then too.
Okay.
But they continued, kept pushing it, and they had to settle. They had to make some cutbacks, like the aluminum intake. They said, no, you can't have that on the Super Duty. But they got to maintain good rods. Ron can, aluminum TRW pistons in.
Right, yeah, forged pistons, good rods. They were just a great engine.
Yeah. Can we see under the hood?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. How many of these are in existence? Wow. How many of these are in existence?
There is a registry for these, right?
Yes.
And I'm not sure how many are actually left on the planet, but what do you know?
Well, how many were made? 1,300?
Altogether, let's see, you had 943. Yeah. Yep. 943 and 74, so you had 1,200.
Yeah. This was one of 731.
Incredible. Really is incredible.
Probably maybe 200 or 300 left.
And you were just working on this, Ron? What were you doing to it?
I was. I did a cam change on it. We put the original cam in it that Pontiac intended for the Super Duty engine, and we did a little cylinder head refresh. So yeah.
How do you find parts for this?
Well, eBay's a source.
Yeah.
Butler Performance. is really good. That's who I sourced out the original cam that they tested in the Super Duty. So I went to Butler Performance for that.
And it's F-body.
Yes.
What does F-body mean? What's the F mean? Do we know?
It was just a platform they used. Camaro Firebird were called F-body because they were basically cousins, sisters, whatever you want to call them. But the Camaro Firebird were F-bodies. I don't know where the F came from, but every car platform has a letter designation.
Okay, it just could be a random letter they picked.
Right, right.
Where do you stand? Can we see inside
Yeah.
too?
Oh,
as
yeah,
well?
absolutely.
Let's take a look inside. Where do you stand with the other generations of Trans Am? This is Gen 2. We get to Gen 3, very popular, and then Gen 4.
Just loved the second gen.
That's yours, huh?
Yeah, 70 to 81. Because one of the reasons is they completely redesigned them in 82. There was no more Pontiac engine. I just lost interest in them. The fourth gen, they start to get a little better. But third gen, I'm not a big fan of. They're not horrible cars. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah,
of
everyone has a personal preference.
Right.
I think I showed you, we did an episode on a 1988 Pontiac GTA.
Yes.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yes, you did.
Holy smokes, people love that car.
Yep.
People love that car.
Yeah. Yeah, they
And
do.
then we just did a 2002 WS6, and big following with that car as well.
Last year of the Trans Am.
Yeah, final run.
Yep, yep.
Interiors, man, clean as well. Is there any difference between the 73 and 74 interiors?
I don't believe you're going to see a difference in it.
The thing you're going to see different is this right here.
The radial tune.
Radial tune suspension.
All right.
They started putting radial tires on them. They changed the suspension a little bit to complement the tire. So they had a little thing that they called radial tune suspension.
And right here, yeah.
Other than that, you won't see any difference in the interior.
AM, FM. Obviously, you had it changed out.
Yep. And
What's-
original 8-track player.
And the 8-track.
Oh, there's the 8-track right down here.
Yes. Sorry, I don't have an 8-track here, but
We need to get some 8-track.
I should. I
How
do
dare
have.
you, Jeff?
I do have. I should put one in there.
What were you thinking?
That is
Yeah.
so cool, though. The 8-track player right here.
Yep.
You drive this 96,000 miles?
No.
No.
Nope. I got it with, I think it was like 95,000 miles on it.
Because in episode 1 was the white one
Yes.
yours, and then you
Yes.
sold the white one.
Sold the white one. I've actually had red, white, and blue.
Have you really?
Yes. And the blue is my favorite. The Admiralty blue, I just love it. It's got, if you look closely, I don't know if you can capture it on there, but there's a little bit of fine metallic.
Oh, is there really? Okay.
Yep, especially when light hits it, but it's hard to pick up. And this light here might be even more difficult, but you can see the little bit of metallic.
Why the wheels and tires just look so beefy? Is it just the size of them? To me, it's such a beefy looking tire.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got a 15-inch rim, so you got a lot of tire. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of sidewall. This actually has the original 70 series original size tire on it.
Right.
For mine, same wheel, but I ran a 60 series tire, a little
beefier.
wider. Yeah. So, and you can see also the difference.
The difference too, yeah, the difference between the back two, yeah.
Get rid of the chrome bumper.
The lights.
It's got the bumper that matches the front. They changed the tail lights. They come all the way across now.
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
They put the access to the trunk under here rather than right there.
Oh, right there, sure, subtle little changes.
Yep.
I think Pontiac did a good job incorporating the front and rear. You know, if you look at a Camaro in 74, it doesn't blend as well because they have that anodized aluminum bumper and it sticks out. You really notice it. But this Pontiac did a good job incorporating it.
Yeah, the whole thing just flows. I'm just looking at it. Gene, did you get? I'm sure you did, but the shot from the back, looking both hoods up. I mean, this is pretty cool right here.
It is.
That is a cool thing. Now, when I walked up and we're doing our greetings, something caught my eye in the garage. Is it something gold? Can we see that?
Oh, absolutely.
Can we take a peek at
Sure.
what's a?
Let me just open this.
Okay.
To make it easier.
Ready for the reveal? Ta-da! Intense music playing.
I don't have my drums.
Yeah, Gene will add it in. 79?
Another Trans Am?
79.
Yes. It's not all that sexy at the moment, but
It will be.
it will be. Friend of mine brought this over to me. It had some oil leaks. It ended up turning into a complete overhaul. I did a complete rebuild on the engine. It's pretty much ready to go back in the car. Just haven't got there with it yet, but Interesting thing about this car is it was the last year you could get a Pontiac 400. They did away with this engine after 1979.
So this was the last run right here?
Last run.
Wow.
And if you got that engine, it was a 4-speed only option. So low production number, pretty rare car. They bring pretty good money, especially in good shape like this one is. It's original, interior's original, paint's original.
And I like the hood. We talked about it before. People just buy the hoods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Artwork.
Oh yeah.
Hang 'em up
I've seen them
and
hanging up in their garage.
hang
Yeah.
them up. If you can find them, they're really cool to have.
Right, absolutely.
Can we go for a ride?
In this, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's not an EV, is it?
The keys? Let's start the thing.
Which one do you want to go?
Can we go in the Super Duty?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You ready for this, Gene? One of the things we love doing is breaking down the VIN. And Jeff, you want to break it down for us, what we're kind of looking at, or is there a certain letter or number that we want to look for to make sure that it is a pure Super Duty?
Yep. If you see the X, can you pick up that in the VIN? Yeah, you'll see the X in there, and that's the Super Duty.
So look for the X, it's the real deal. Is the 4 after that for 70?
That's 74.
74, okay.
And then you have the plant, which would be N. There'll be an N in there for Norwood, Ohio.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
2 is for
Pontiac.
Pontiac.
Yep.
V is for Trans Am. 87 is hardtop.
It's V87 for Trans Am.
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay.
So I'm glad we got to talk about the SD because it's, the whole thing with Pontiac Engineering, developing the car. Then one of the things that they did is they ran their test car to Arizona, and they were concerned about the gas mileage, but it was getting the second best gas mileage behind one of their regular sedans.
Was it really?
And they're like, yep. And they're like, hey, it's not doing too bad.
Yeah.
Performance that it puts out, And one of the things the engine does have a little piston slap.
Okay.
And that's standard because they have a little bit more clearance. And these, one thing we didn't touch on, every single SD engine was hand built.
Was it
That's,
really?
oh, yeah, Pontiac hand built them and tested them before putting them in.
Oh, I feel the power. You feel it. You just feel it rumbling underneath you.
Yeah.
It wants to go.
Oh yeah, and one of the things they did too is it was doing so well in '73, is that they said, okay, we're running out of parts. People are coming in to the to parts department and buying SD parts. They said can't do that anymore. You have to have an actual SD VIN number to buy parts.
So people are just going to stock up on the parts.
Yeah, they're stocking up on the parts.
Do you think the SD really revitalized the Trans Am? Because I was reading that sales were kind of starting to slump a little bit from 71 to 72. And then 73, they come out with the SD.
Yeah.
And that really
It did because
gave it that punch.
all the other manufacturers were kind of detuning.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, performance is over for now. Insurance rates are so high. And Pontiac stuck to their guns and they came out with this and everybody's like, whoa, what is this? So that was really good when they did that.
How much of this is original inside?
This is all original.
Outside of this radio, where seats, everything.
Yeah, except for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else is original in here. I mean, the radio is great because it's updated radio.
Sure. Yeah, you want to have some modern amenities as you're driving it. Yeah, I totally.
And Bluetooth and all. I mean, that's great. I think so. Yeah, but everything else. I mean, do I have the lights on? There, the lights on. Oh, yeah. So. Yeah. So.
How long have you been into how many Trans Ams have you owned?
Well, what's interesting about that is probably back in the 80s, the muscle car market was just starting to come alive. 70s are over, 80s, okay. They're really inexpensive still. Then people are starting to write articles in magazines. Before you know it, it's starting to catch on. So I was into Camaros. Actually, I was GTOs and Camaros. And then a person I got to know up in Wisconsin, I'm from Chicago originally. He was a teacher and he was really into Trans Ams. And I took a look. I drove up there, up by the Beloit area in Wisconsin, and he had a barn. And so he had 3 or 4. I'm like, wow. And he was into number matching and low mileage.
Yeah.
So I bought my first one from him. And I got hooked ever since.
That was it, huh?
That was it. It was a 79, just like that gold one.
Uh-huh.
So mine was brown with camel interior 4-speed. And then it just hooked me. And then I got my first SD at the same time, which, believe it or not, back then, not quite this condition, but very, very nice, $12,900.
No kidding.
And that's 1997. And now the value is just gone,
Yep.
really something else on these
Well,
cars.
people, your white one, we put a couple snippets of it on YouTube and TikTok and all social medias, and people go nuts for it, man. Perfect. Thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing
Thank you.
your treasure with us, man. It's gorgeous, man. It's just unbelievable. Thank you, Ron, as well, man. This is always a pleasure doing this, man.
It is.
Appreciate it.
It is.
And for believing episode number 1. We didn't know each other before episode 1. I called him up and said, yeah, come on over. I'll show you some cars. And here we go, man. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching as well. If you want your car, shop, or collection featured on the show, then shoot us an email at carshopsandcollections@gmail.com. That's carshopsandcollections@gmail.com. And thanks for watching, and be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes of Cars, Shops, and Collections.